let's just jump right into it. Today, we're unpacking the hidden foundation of your home, demystifying carpet padding. When we renovate, we totally obsess over the texture and the color of the carpet itself, right? But the true hero of a comfortable home, it's entirely invisible. So we're going to synthesize some real-world retail data and expert advice to uncover what is really beneath your feet. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would you spend top dollar on the part of the floor you're literally never going to see? Think of your flooring kind of like an iceberg. We all know the most massive, most important part of an iceberg is the chunk hidden beneath the surface of the water. Well, your carpet is exactly the same way. It seems totally counterintuitive to drop your hard-earned cash on a foam mat that gets permanently covered up day one. But here's the reality. The padding dictates the entire lifespan, the daily comfort, and the overall durability of your floor. If you buy a super expensive carpet and just slap it on cheap padding, you're basically building a mansion on top of quicksand. To really understand how the pros handle this, let's look at this golden rule of home improvement we pulled straight from a highly active Reddit thread. One user perfectly summarized the core purchasing philosophy we should all adopt. They said, get a budget to mid-range carpet, but get the best padding you can afford. Let that sink in for a second, because it completely flips the script on how most of us shop. You can take a totally affordable mid-tier carpet and make it feel like absolute luxury underfoot just by upgrading the pad underneath it. On the flip side, a premium carpet over a bargain basement pad is going to wear out way faster, and honestly, it'll just feel incredibly cheap. Okay, so let's demystify the primary metric you're going to see when you're out shopping: pound density. When you're browsing the aisles at the Home Depot, you'll see padding listed as 3 pound, 5 pound, 8 pound. But what does that actually mean? Well, it literally refers to the weight of exactly 1 cubic foot of that specific foam material. It's a direct indicator of overall durability, structural support, and ultimate lifespan. A heavier cubic foot means a denser material. And a denser material, that means it's going to resist crushing under the weight of your furniture and, your everyday footsteps. So the crucial takeaway here is comparing low and high density to understand exactly what kind of support you're actually paying for. Take low-density padding. Usually in that 3 to 5 pound range. These are your budget options. Sure, they might feel squishy and soft at first, but they bottom out really quickly. In a high-traffic area, a 3 pound pad is going to flatten out in no time, leaving your carpet totally vulnerable. But then look at high-density padding, the 8 to 10 pound range. This gives you firm structural support. It acts as a true shock absorber for the carpet backing, making sure it lasts for years without showing those annoying wear patterns in your hallways. Basically, low density means a short lifespan. High density means long-term protection. But density is really only half the battle. The material type is the other half. Now, the most common pad on the market is Rebond foam. This stuff is made from recycled multicolored foam chunks that are all glued and pressed together. It offers incredibly firm support and is highly cost-effective. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have memory foam. Just like your mattress, this offers a premium, luxurious comfort with a much softer walk. But as you might guess, it commands a significantly higher price tag at retail. Let's bring all this technical spec talk down to earth for a second with a really relatable real-world buyer. We're going to follow the journey of a Reddit user who goes by Carmelli. They posted about a dilemma that I bet a lot of you might find incredibly familiar. They were in the middle of choosing a carpet installer and had a very specific, honestly pretty challenging living situation that made picking the right carpet pad an absolutely critical decision for their home. So here's the setup. They've got a full house, 1 dog and 2 cats. And here's the kicker. One of those cats has occasional accidents outside the litter box. If you're a pet owner, you already know that detail alone changes literally everything about buying flooring. Now, wisely, they'd already picked out a carpet called Shaw Emerald Bay 2, which experts online confirmed is a fantastic pet stain resistance choice. Plus, to add another layer of complexity, this house might become a rental property in a few years. So this floor needs to be incredibly durable and completely tenant-proof. And this brilliantly illustrates their exact dilemma. The installer handed them 2 choices. Option A is a heavy-duty, dense 10-pound Rebond pad with a top moisture barrier. Option B is a product called Monterey, pitched to them as an 8-pound memory foam with a dual moisture barrier, meaning it blocks liquids from both the top and the bottom. Obviously, option B is way more expensive, but it sounds like an absolute luxury pet owner's dream, right? Memory foam for comfort, dual barriers for the cats. I mean, it seems like an open and shut case. But here is where the collective expertise of the internet steps in with a massive reality check. A flooring expert bluntly corrected our buyer about those Monterey specs. It turns out Monterey is actually not memory foam, and, wait for it, it's not an 8-pound density either. It's technically a closed-cell prime urethane foam, basically just a standard, moderately dense foam coming in closer to 6 pounds.
Now, don't get me wrong, it's still considered a very good pad that offers a soft walk. But wow, does this ever highlight how confusing and completely misleading industry marketing terms can be when you're sitting right across the desk from a salesperson?
Let's talk about the real financial impact of these decisions. $1.19. Now, that number might not look all that intimidating on its own, but when we're talking about flooring, every single penny is multiplied by hundreds or even thousands of square feet. For context, at the Home Depot, $1.19 per square foot is exactly what you'll pay for their top-tier, life-proof, half-inch thick premium comfort foam padding. To really understand the market here, let's break down this pricing matrix. On the top row, the budget Future Foam Contractor 5-pound Rebond comes in at just 32 cents a square foot. Super economical. But the second you want to upgrade to an 8-pound Temper Foam, you jump all the way to $1.06 a square foot. And that LifeProof Premium we just mentioned tops the chart at $1.19. So let's put that into perspective. If you're doing a standard 1,000 square foot project, the cost of the pad alone jumps from $320 to nearly $1,200. This is exactly why you absolutely have to know if you're truly getting 8-pound memory foam or just a 6-pound urethane that's been cleverly marketed to you.
Which brings us to another fascinating controversy our pet-owning protagonist ran into, the dual moisture barrier debate. Is it actually worth it to have a moisture barrier on both the top and the bottom of the pad? Well, on one side of the argument, pet owners absolutely love the idea that cat urine can't soak into the pad from the top and subfloor moisture can't seep in from the bottom. Makes sense. But the counter-argument is that if any moisture gets perfectly trapped between the seams of a dual barrier pad, it has literally nowhere to go. It can't breathe at all, potentially creating a trapped, moldy nightmare. Yikes.
And this leads perfectly into a piece of expert advice that just completely cuts through all that marketing noise. One Reddit veteran laid out a fundamental truth, stating plain and simple, subfloor must be very dry before installing the underlay and carpet. I know it sounds almost too simple, but it is deeply profound. You can buy the $1.19 premium foam or you can buy the heavy-duty 10-pound Rebond, but if the wooden or concrete subfloor underneath it is holding on to moisture, your expensive investment is entirely useless.
So before you lay a single inch of that carefully selected pad, there are 3 actionable installation secrets you absolutely must follow. Step 1. Verify the subfloor is bone dry. Some experts even suggest slapping an epoxy coat on concrete if you need to. Step 2. Meticulously sweep away all the concrete dust and sand down any small protrusions so they don't accidentally tear the pad's moisture barrier. And step 3, once it's installed, ventilate that room for at least 48 hours. This allows the volatile organic compounds, the VOCs, to properly off-gas from the new foam and adhesives. Guys, this step is absolutely non-negotiable for keeping your indoor air quality safe.
So what does this all mean? We've uncovered that the part of the floor you literally never see is actually the foundation of your entire room. We've seen how density directly relates to durability, how fancy marketing terms can disguise a product's true specs, and how even the best padding in the world fails without proper installation. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider the next time you step onto a plush carpet. If the pad strictly dictates the lifespan of your floor, are you stepping on a solid, well-researched investment, or just a layer of cheap foam destined to fail? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you walk away feeling empowered to make the absolute best choices for your home.